I'm Chris Jenkins, and today I have a special guest join me for my Day After Thoughts, the one and only WCNC's own Kelsey Riggs.
How'd you get stuck with me?
That's a good question, but I got you now for the rest of the show, so we'll see how it goes. So we're also going to turn this a little bit into the weekly report because the Panthers have such a quick turnaround. They're already practicing today. Usually when I do these recaps, they're not practicing, but they are practicing. So let me actually start first with that, and I'm going to steal from you because I saw that you were at the press room today.
Yep.
The injury report, right? So let me go through that super quickly. Ryan Khalil, David Mayo, and Torrey Smith all did not participate in practice today. We're going to talk about Torrey Smith here in a second. And then limited in practice was Mario Addison, Captain Muddlin, Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, and Eric Reed, which you kind of think that the team may be somewhat precautious for guys, just getting them rest on that short turnaround. So there is your injury report for today. But let's get into this game of yesterday's Bucs versus Panthers. And first up, I want to talk about Torrey Smith. Right? So North Turner's offense yesterday looked completely incredible. It was a tale of two halves a little bit, but it looked completely incredible.
Right.
And as I'm watching, I'm thinking, okay, he can do this now because of the weapons, the personnel that he has out there to do so many creative things. And what do we do when Torrey Smith comes back? Do you think he comes back this weekend? What do you think we should do once he comes back?
You know, I don't think he'll come back this week. I don't know, but I mean, it's a short week, not a whole lot of time for him to finish rehabbing that knee. I would assume if there's any question about it, they probably won't push it because it is a short week and they don't want to jinx anything with him. He hasn't said anything. We didn't get to talk to him in the locker room today, so I don't know how he's doing this week physically, but I would be surprised if he's still having any problems if they try and throw him out there. I don't know what they're going to do when he comes back. I mean, I don't think it changes a lot. They have so many weapons, and at this point, I think that they're still figuring out how to use them all. But I don't think that it's a problem that they have so many weapons.
Does he become a starter when he comes back?
You know, I think that that's interesting.
That's interesting.
I think he probably does. But I mean, at this point, do these guys really care who's in there for the first play of the game when they're all getting in there? I mean, on the stat sheet, yeah, you're the starter. But at this point, I feel like they've kind of at least gotten into some rotation lately, getting Curtis Samuel in there, getting DJ Moore, giving them their reps, and really starting to see what they can do and how big of an impact that they can make. That I think they'll continue turning around these guys and getting them in and just figuring out how they can work them in different schemes just because they are so dynamic and fun to watch. Yesterday, the first half, it was like, what is happening? This is awesome. So
I want Torrey not to start.
Why?
Because I want to continue to, like, long term, right? Who has the more potential? Torrey Smith does not. He's just in there to provide some leadership and some guidance to these young guys. But the upside on DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, it's significantly higher than Torrey Smith, so let him just kind of stay in the background, stay being a force in the locker room, teaching those guys some good work ethic. But let's continue to build on DJ Moore having the reps that actually DJ had the most reps of any wide receiver yesterday, which is pretty impressive.
And I love that they're doing that with him, especially after the game at Washington. And he had those two fumbles that were so big that everybody harped on, especially us in the media, because that's what we want to go in there and say, like, oh my gosh, how are you going to bounce back from this? Well, he's now a professional football player. He's going to bounce back and be fine.
Put on your big pants.
Yeah, exactly. And they all said, and Coach Rivera was very stern in that post-game locker room and said, this is a guy that we believe in. Like, we're going to continue to give him opportunities. Yeah, he fumbled twice, but everybody's going to make mistakes, and we're going to continue to give him opportunities because we believe in him. And I think that says a lot, you know, and probably does a lot for him as well, you know, that he didn't have to sit around and wait for the next week to get another opportunity. They continued to use him in the second half and have used him more and more, and he continues to prove more and more. I don't hate it if Torrey Smith starts. I don't hate it or love it either way. As long as they continue. If Torrey
starts and plays like 30 snaps and now DJ snaps go down?
I think my thing is whoever's out there at the beginning, you know, I hear what you're saying. You're the starter. You're going to get more snaps. You're going to be in there more. But I think if they find a way to balance that, and I think they will, you're not going to throw Torrey back in there and then all of a sudden cut back on DJ when you see what he's been able to do in these last few games. So, I mean, they're not going to cut him out. They might have to cut it back or figure out a way to share it. I think they're trying to figure that out all around. They're trying to figure that out with C.J. Anderson. How do they get him involved and use him when you have a guy like Christian that can do so much? So I think they're still figuring it out.
How about winning makes everything good, right? Because we don't talk about C.J. Anderson just snaps anymore, right? Nobody talked about that, but the previous weeks you were like, when they were kind of going up and down, it's like, hey, why are you
using him?
Right. Let's keep going. Blown lead of 21 points. They had 21 unanswered points in that second half. Why did we do that? What happened? Was it coaches? Was it players?
It's so interesting. I feel like this year I'm trying to figure out who this team really is.
Yeah.
So you get the first half Panthers against the Bucs, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an offense like we haven't seen for 2 quarters of a game. You know, this dynamic and this explosive and this exciting, and they're doing all these trick plays, and it's so exciting.
Was it 5 or 6 consecutive touchdowns? 5 or 6 possessions?
Yeah. I think 5 in the first half, 4 in the first half. I can't remember.
Yeah,
something like
a lot.
that.
So much we can't remember.
Exactly. I mean, it was the franchise record for most first half points.
Yeah.
But so then it's like the second half, are they taking their foot off the gas because they've got this lead? Is it just, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily taking their foot off the gas. At the end of the day, Tampa Bay coming into this game, whether they've had this quarterback controversy or not with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston, they were the #1 offense in the league. So, you know, the defense is still dealing with that, and they start cranking a little bit. They gain some confidence. The Panthers maybe lose a bit. I think in the first half, in the beginning of the second half, they had the problems with the timeouts and just figuring things out. I think it's a combination. Maybe, you know, I think anytime something's going wrong with the players, it comes back on the coaches, whether they're not hyped up enough and pretending like the score is back to, you know, little league ball and it's 0-0 at the half. Like, I don't know. Is it mentality? What is it? I would love to see this team continue to just foot on the pedal.
Go for the coaches.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, like, the coaches are setting the tone. They're going into the half. The coaches are there getting them all right. Yeah, they're grown men, but the coaches are kind of like cheering, you know, leading this team along, right? You come out in the second half, exactly what you talked about. You had 3 times. Was it in one possession that they used 3 timeouts?
Definitely 2, yeah.
Where does that confusion come from after such a dominant first half at the very start of a third quarter?
Right.
Like, and why is it so bad that you couldn't even just get any play off? And Cam seemed to be walking towards the sideline well before it was close to, you know, the clock trying as if there was not, you know, he didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So a little bit of that. And I'm not in the locker room, I'm not saying this is absolutely it, but I feel like the coaches must have done something where they just got in such disarray. By the end of the third quarter, they started getting it together. In the fourth quarter, we saw something different again. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
We just talk about these things for food for thought. We don't know. Speaking of Cam.
We'd like to be in the huddles.
It would be nice to know for sure, right? Cam Newton, help and get a check every now and then. Just one check. Just one check.
I'm here for that. Yeah, for sure.
They do 10-day contracts in basketball. They should do something like that in football.
Yeah, right? I don't know that I would be fit for that. I would try really hard though.
You could be kicker, maybe.
Yeah, the kicker. Sorry, Grant.
No, JJ.
The holder?
The long snapper.
Okay.
Long snapper.
Long snapper. I could do that. Sorry, JJ.
Yeah.
I could be in with the specialist. I mean, they're kicking balls in the soccer balls in the locker room all the time.
Yeah. But let's go back to Cam. Cam Newton's accuracy has been pretty good. I didn't do a good job of writing down my notes on his exact numbers.
67%.
67%. Career best, is it safe to say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Career, for sure.
For sure, right?
For sure.
Red zone efficiency is off the charts. So has our buddy Norv really helped Cam's accuracy? I feel like this. At first, I would say, so the question, which I've not even said, is why his accuracy improved, is Norv Turner was giving him all these short passes at the beginning, right? So it's like, okay, it's easy.
And we were complaining.
Right. But now he's doing some intermediate stuff. I don't feel like he's done too much long stuff yet.
Still not a whole lot of deep threat.
But still, with all the throws that he's been doing when he goes a little bit downfield, they seem to be pretty on point. What do you think is helping his accuracy so far this year?
I think Norv definitely plays a huge part in that. I mean, we were all so excited to see what Norv could do with this offense. I think Norv is part of it. I think Cam's part of it. I think that we've seen maybe a different Cam than we've seen so far since I've been here, even with his mentality, his approach, how serious he's taking it, his workouts. I don't know when the guy sleeps, if he ever does sleep.
How was his North Turner impression, by the way?
I think it's good. I'm not around Norv enough to know, like, to really hear him with his, you know, his baby or whatever it is that he says. I enjoy his impression, though. I don't know if it's spot on.
It was comical. It was comical. Like, hey, man, just tilted his head back, you know?
Yeah. I think Norv has a lot to do with it. I think Cam has a lot to do with it. And I think he has receivers and weapons around him that are making him look better, that are making him more confident, that are making him feel better, because it's not like he just has to go to Mr. Reliable, Greg Olsen. You know, he's got 6 other guys that he can go to and feel confident when he's throwing them the ball, and that have been, you know, showing up for him as well. Yeah. What do you think?
I agree. I think the confidence helps go with that accuracy, right? Because you got all this stuff going. Everybody just feels good when you're winning. Yeah. You're getting points scored from this side and this guy and over here. And now you're like, well, maybe I don't have to go over here. You know, maybe he also gets more relaxed because he knows he has so many options. So he doesn't have to fire a ball and trip up his mechanics and things like that.
Force it.
Yeah. So, but keep it up, Cam. Whatever the secret is, keep it up.
Hashtag that.
Keep it up,
you heard it here.
Defense. This question is going to be all you, because I thought about it. I was like, I don't know, but I got Kelsey Riggs. Specialist. Did you? What this defense that we have? What is our strong point of the defense? Is the secondary standing out just because they're more vocal and it's more exciting when you see an interception versus the other things that the linebackers and the front 7 can do? What do you think?
I think that they're definitely standing out a lot right now because of what you just said. I mean, you've got Dante Jackson, who's now has tied for the league most interceptions through 8 games with 4 interceptions. Eric Reed's getting an interception, 2 interceptions if you ask him, because of that one at Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Almost. So that makes a big difference. I mean, you know, listen, you can talk as much as you want. Dante Jackson can go out there and talk about what they're going to do, but unless you prove it, it doesn't mean anything, and they are. So I think the secondary is good, which is exciting. That's a group that has kind of struggled a little bit finding their way. I mean, you've got these 2 guys, I mean, behind us now that they're always going to be a strong suit. One of the biggest question marks, I think, at the beginning of the season was the pass rush, and why was it so different? Why weren't they getting to the quarterback? Well, yesterday, Mario Addison has 3 sacks, career best. So I think everything is starting to click. I think the secondary is probably the most exciting right now, and maybe the most upside, because we are starting to see how much potential they have as you know, guys like Dante get more acquainted, and Eric. But I mean, the defense as a whole, I think, is maybe definitely trending in the right direction. Yeah. At this point.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there, and now that you've talked, I had a chance to digest it a little bit more.
Don't copy off me.
Why not?
I'm just kidding.
I think at one point when the secondary was all, you know, scrambled and trying to find who's going to work, you were focusing on the front 7 because they were getting the sacks and they were doing, you know, making the most noise, so to say. But now it's probably like we have a really complete defense. We have a front 7 that's solid. We have our linebackers that's solid. Now we have our secondary that's solid. And so everything just seems, nothing really stands out except for the mouth, of course. But we love it. We love the mouth of Dante Jackson. And I like it. I like the defense. Next, saw the Saints play last night.
Yeah.
They were beaten on the Rams pretty good. Rams came back, and then the Saints said, no, we're going to win.
I know.
They look pretty impressive.
They do.
How far can our team go, and do you think the Saints will be our biggest stumbling block?
Yeah, for sure. I think the way the schedule's set up is really interesting too. I mean, the Panthers played their 2nd division game yesterday. We don't play the Bucs again for a month now, and then they have still another week before that, and we close the season off with those 3 division games. Saints here, which is good. We get them here first. Saints, and then Atlanta, and then Saints again. So the way that the schedule is set up is definitely going to create some challenges, just because we don't see the Saints until like week 14 and then again in week 16. And hopefully at that point the Panthers are at their best, but at the same time the Saints are going to be at their best too at that point in the season. I think they're definitely going to be one of the biggest challenges. They're so good right now. They have so many weapons. They, you know, it seem like they're clicking really on all cylinders, and so I think they're going to give the Panthers a big challenge, you know, just as they did last year.
Yeah, there's our little reminder.
That means that we
Speed
have to
round,
shut up.
speed round. No, we don't have to shut up. This is our show. How's that mic working out for you? Is it going all over the place?
Yeah, I think I'm good. No,
Yeah?
actually. I mean, I'm not going to like
Not gonna
do
fall.
anything crazy.
We got a short week, so we'll start to wrap up. We got a short week. We play Pittsburgh. I feel good about the Pittsburgh game. I never go into predictions. You're welcome to if you feel like it. But what I do like is this team has made the progression. Something that I think we forgot about in the media and as fans is that we had a lot of new pieces on the coaching staff with Washington being back there. Once I say that, I forget all the other pieces that have
Norv
and Scott.
Yeah.
Hey, come back. I'm looking at all the cameras now. It's late. It's late.
Where we at?
That's my camera. That's your camera. And that's our camera. Come back, Kelsey, so you can continue to help me out with this thing. But I feel like I'm excited about what could happen. Like, even if we lose against Pittsburgh, I feel like we now have the weapons. Norv has gotten really comfortable knowing what he can do, pulling out pieces. I'm no longer going to be pushing for C.J. Anderson to get more reps. It's just we got so many other guys. And then on the defensive side, I feel like the coach has done a really good job of keeping those guys, reeled in on the plan and not getting too high or too low.
Yeah.
And they're playing some really good football. What do you think about Pittsburgh coming up?
I think it's a big game. It's their first primetime game so far this season, so that's big. They've got a Monday night game too. It's always exciting to play primetime. I mean, everybody's watching when it's
gonna be cold
Thursday
up there.
night game. Is it?
Yeah,
I don't
like high
do
of 43
well with the
or something.
cold.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it.
I'm gonna cancel my flight. Just kidding. No, I think it's gonna be a big game. I mean, I think that the Steelers are good. I saw a stat today. The Panthers haven't ever won there. They're 0-3
No?
at Pittsburgh. They haven't even
sad.
played there since 2010, which we were talking to Luke Kuechly today. He's never played there in the regular season,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy to think about with how much Luke has done just since he's been here. He's never played there in the regular season. So I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere. I think the other elephant in the room with the Steelers, which none of these guys care because it's all about football, but their boss came from the Steelers.
Yeah.
David Tepper, this is going to be a big one for him. I'm sure they'll want to go up there and get a win for him, so that'll be exciting as well. But, I mean, this is a team that is a good team as well. I think 5-2-1 right now is what the Steelers are.
They're pretty good.
So it should be a good challenge, yeah.
All right. I got one surprise closer for you.
Okay.
The fans, I like to say I work for the people. They want to talk about
Man of the
shoes.
people.
Man
Oh,
we gotta do Kelsey's kick, so we gotta see what. I don't know if they're in camera or
Are
not,
they in?
but you can use my knee. Go ahead, use my knee.
Okay.
Ready? Well, teamwork.
Okay.
All right. There you
Sorry,
go.
my bruised legs.
Kelsey's kicks. What do we have
They're
today?
in. Oh,
Just some
these are
classic
just,
Adidas.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are some Calabasas.
We almost got the same.
Yeah,
I didn't even
we're
want to
on, like,
have.
the same- we're on
hopefully,
the-
my foot's out of camera because when I put on my socks today, I was thinking, who's gonna see my socks?
And then that happened.
Yeah, then that happened.
Yeah,
So-
I have a shoe addiction. I don't know. Listen, I can't be walking around on the sidelines in heels, and I can barely walk in heels. In
How many
general.
pairs do you have?
Oh gosh.
Do you have the
Call me
clear
on that.
containers?
I don't have the clear containers. I do
Okay.
have a lot of shoes still in boxes. Some of my Nikes and Jordans, and if I get a pair I really like.
Do you have a
I just don't
room
care.
dedicated to your shoes?
I have a closet.
Closet.
It's starting to
A full
become-
closet of nothing but shoes. Okay.
It's starting to become 2 closets, and I've got an extra room now, so things are starting to. It's a problem.
Mostly sneakers.
Yeah,
or
somebody
good-
out there's gotta be ready, looking for a shoe deal or something. Let me know.
I really appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna tell you to look into this camera right
Okay.
here. Let these people know how to follow you and stay tuned.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, posting all the things about football and shoes. It's Kelsey Riggs, WCNC, and I think on Instagram it's Kelsey Riggs TV. I should really make those link up.
You
now that
should,
you made me say them
but-
both together because they're different.
Hey,
Sorry.
we're here together.
I appreciate it though. Thanks for having me.
Come back whenever
Yeah.
you want.
You
all
let
right?
me, I'm around the corner, so
You are not
be
far.
here in a minute.
So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments and questions below. I'm realizing that I left my collar button all the way up, so see, it's all
Okay.
at the top. That's not
New
what I want.
trend.
New trend.
My bad. I didn't have your back on that. Sorry.
Help me out.
Sorry.
But leave your comments below. Anything that we didn't talk about, anything that you want to expand on, let us know, and we'll be sure to talk about it in an upcoming show. Thanks for watching.